So, good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's webinar. We're so glad that you could join us. My name is Victoria Wilson, and I'm the Schools Engagement Officer at ATU. Tonight, I'll be your host for the next 30 minutes, and we'll be talking all things hospitality and culinary at ATU Donegal today. This event will be recorded, so you'll be able to watch it back once we share it to our socials over the next coming days. But also, we have a Q&A happening in the background. So if you do have any questions in relation to our three programs that we're talking about tonight, then you can pop your questions in the Q&A box. We have an exciting lineup tonight. I'm delighted to welcome from the hospitality programs Rosemary Dewhirst, a lecturer at ATU. I'm delighted to welcome Molly Boyd, who's a current student at ATU, and also David Keaney is coming live from Chicago tonight, and he's a graduate of the hospitality program. On the culinary side of things, we have Eddie McMenamin, lecturer at ATU. We have Keira Ferry, a current student of the culinary program, and we also have Noni, who is a graduate as well. So without further ado, I think Rosemary will pass it over to you, and you can tell us all about our hospitality programs at ATU Donegal.
Thank you very much and welcome everybody. I just want to talk about our two Bachelor of Arts degrees here in ATU Donegal, based in the Letterkenny campus. The first is a BA in Hospitality Management, which is unique because it's a 3-year level 8 honours degree based on the Letterkenny campus, with 1 day with free transport to our Killybegs campus every week. And the timetable normally is only over 3 days for all of you that might want thinking about working. So this degree will cover all the operational aspects of running a hospitality enterprise, from mixology, so that's a table quiz question for you to find out what that is, to restaurant services from casual to our fine dining, to rooms division management, our culinary skills department, and then in third year we look at our management modules, which is new this year is our Lean Six Sigma, which is a new concept within the hospitality business, revenue management, strategic marketing, management accounting, and strategic management. So you will be well equipped to manage hospitality enterprises after that degree. Our other degree shares, which is the BA in Tourism and Hospitality Operations, shares the first 2 years with the Bachelor of Arts in Hospitality Management. But again, this degree is unique because in the final year of the BA in Tourism and Hospitality Operations, which is a level 7, it focuses more on the tourism aspects of Ireland's policy, destination development, website performance, and more importantly, there is a 6-month placement from January to June in a tourism-related enterprise. So just these two degrees, the level 7, just remember these numbers, is AU 221 for level 7 in the BA in Tourism and Hospitality Operations, and the level 8 is AU 322. So like the lot of numbers, remember those two numbers. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rosemary. So just you mentioned there about practical classes. So there are 1-day practical in the Killybegs campus.
There is, but there is some other aspects of the practical classes in the Letterkenny campus. So because our kitchens, our bar and our restaurant is on the Killybegs campus, we have a free bus that will take all our graduates from the main campus in Letterkenny to Killybegs for their timetable classes. And then other aspects of our fine dining restaurant management module and our rooms division module, which is accommodation and front of house, takes place on the main campus in Letterkenny. And in different hotels around Letterkenny.
Very good. And you also mentioned about work placement opportunities. So there's a fantastic option for work placement. Where have people gone on their work placement? Have they gone further afield than Ireland, or can you tell us a little bit more about their work placement opportunities?
Well, within, just as I suppose as an added bonus within the degree that we offer in the hospitality management degree, you can also apply for a 1-year full placement out in international places. So we go as far as Malta, we've gone to France, we've gone as far as the resorts in the States, we've gone to Jersey, we've gone to the Carnation groups. We have worked with 5-star properties in the States, and some of our alumni will allude to that when you're talking to them later on. So the opportunities are brilliant. And then in the tourism enterprise one, You can work in tourism with Fáilte Ireland, in tourism officers, in tourism offices, as tour guides down the country, in cruise ships. Some of our alumni have gone to work in cruise ships. The world is your oyster with these degrees, and you will never, ever be out of work.
And I know a big question that comes in a lot is our workplace placements paid?
They are. We have a very structured approach to placements in ATU Donegal. They're supervised. They are attached to credits, so assignments will have to be done with them. But we normally have a member of staff that will be, I suppose, supervising the students to make sure that they are quite happy in their placements and everything is according to the policies.
And would they follow a work placement portfolio, or how do you track their placements?
It is a workplace portfolio that's embedded in one of the modules in our BA in Hospitality Management degree. So it's part of a module, and they will have to cover a structured portfolio within it. And again, in the 6-month placement, the tourism policy is a very structured approach. Very easy. It's like an e-portfolio, can be all done online with the guidance and mentoring of lecturing staff.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Rosemary, and thank you
You're
for
very
giving us
welcome.
that fantastic overview of the 2 hospitality programs. I will now come to Molly. Molly, you're very welcome to join us today. You're a second-year student studying hospitality, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Molly, why did you choose ATU Donegal?
So I first put it down as my level 7 choice, just as a backup. But I went to DCU first, and I didn't like that. The classes were really big, didn't really like Dublin. So I came home, and my mommy actually mentioned this course to me.
Okay.
And she was like, you had it down as your level 7, you could try them. So I went and tried it and went on my first day. And everyone was so welcoming. The classes weren't as big, so you got to know everyone.
You really get that one-to-one lecturing experience, don't you? And you feel that you can ask questions if you're finding anything difficult. So what has been the most memorable or rewarding experience so far? Because I see you a lot on the Killybegs campus, if it's coffee mornings, if it's fundraising initiatives. So what has been your highlight of your time at ATU so far?
Well, the most rewarding would probably be like all the charity work we do. So like we do live services, and some of them are for like Mary's Meals we done one for, and we get to experience like live service and what it's like in the industry. And then the most memorable will probably be the trips.
Okay, so where have you been?
So we went to Crawley Distillery, Silky, Ergal Brewing, Kinniger, and Ashford Castle.
Okay.
So yeah, Rosemary took us down there.
Very nice.
So it was good to see a 5-star hotel.
Yeah. Did you stay over, or was it just a day trip?
Just a day trip.
We'll have to get Rosemary to take you on a night away now.
I will try.
So Molly, when we were speaking before this webinar tonight, you had mentioned about what you hope to do after graduation. So do you want to tell everybody what you hope to do after you graduate from this program?
Well, this summer I'm actually going into Fáilte Ireland in the tourist office in Donegal town. And then after that, hopefully go into event management or the marketing side of it. But there's so many different things that I go on to do with the course. So
okay. And what has been your favorite module so far?
Probably event management. So we done like a coffee morning, and we raised over €1,800 for it.
Wow.
Cancer Care West.
Okay, and what was your role within the coffee morning?
So I was the event coordinator, and then I was just telling people what to do and
ensuring that it runs
right
smoothly.
place.
Yeah, ensuring that it all runs on time. I think that's a big part of hospitality nowadays, especially when you go maybe to the likes of a hotel or a tourist office. You have to ensure that everything's in order and you have all your I's dotted and your T's crossed. Isn't that right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so thank you very much, Molly. You give us a wonderful insight into student life at ATU. So now we're coming over to David Keaney. So David's one of our graduates from our hospitality program, and David is coming live from Chicago. You're very welcome, David. How are you?
Thank you. Very good, yeah.
Yeah. So what time is it in Chicago?
It's 1:10 here.
1:10.
So we're 6 hours behind.
6 hours behind. So it's very hot. You said over there. We're getting great weather here in Donegal
It
too.
is,
So
yeah. It's coming into the summer, so you're looking at 25 to 30 degrees, so it's nice. They do
okay.
Fahrenheit over here, so it's completely different. So it's good to adjust, but it's
Yes.
nice.
So you're very welcome. Do you want to tell everybody what you studied at ATU Donegal?
Yeah, so I did a level 7 BA Hospitality and Tourism in ATU Donegal. Graduated 2023, I think. And then I moved to America in 2024 to do a 1-year graduate opportunity. So it's actually very challenging to get a graduate program in the States. I've met 3 or 4 people over here, and they find it very challenging, and they had to actually go home because they
Okay.
couldn't get a job. But I was a lucky one. I'm actually in Trump International Hotel in Chicago. If you look it up, it's 103 floors high. It's probably one of the largest skyscrapers in Chicago, so it's huge. So in that building, we have from ground floor to the 27th floor is all hotel, and then from the 27th floor to the 93rd floor is actually residency. So
Okay.
people can live in the hotel as it is. I'm one of the restaurant managers there. I started off kind of just as a junior manager and then growing over the years. So I really love it.
And what do you do in a day to day in your current role?
Day to day, there's 2 different shifts. So it starts off at a breakfast shift, which is Monday to Friday from 6:30 to 4. So we have like a Trump talk every day that tells us, say, if there's like VIPs coming in or the weather, or like we have like a Trump saying every day that we have to use. So there's just like piece of information that we chat to our team before they begin their shift. And with America, the service is completely different because the servers are relying on their tips.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they're on a very per hourly in America, but they're relying on their tips to make money. So they have to go up and beyond for their service. So in any 5-star, people look for exceptional service. So for my internship, I went to Ashford Castle, and that was a massive help in my coming over here, because the 5-star in America, I feel, is completely different to the 5-star in Ireland. Um, because the servers are relying on the service to make money. So obviously they go up and beyond for their service. But for my job, I just man the floor, make sure you have to have host stands. So when you walk into any restaurant in America, there's a host, and that's first impressions, meet and greet with the customers coming in, and then they bring you down to their table. Compared to in Ireland, it's basically first come first serve, and there's not much of a host. And if there's a table available, you sit there. And obviously for views in America and skyscrapers, and you're 16 floors off the ground where our restaurant is, people are paying for views.
Okay.
So that's why open table and reservations are highly recommended in any establishment in America. So it's all about first impressions and making the guests remember the experience. So that's what
Yeah.
I do. So I just
Very
touch
good.
tables too to make sure everyone's happy and the food's taking certain time, and providing the Forbes standards, because we are one of the Forbes hotels in Chicago. So obviously we have to work a wee bit harder to make sure the service is on time. So
Very
that's what
good.
I
That
do.
sounds really interesting, and I can tell by the way you're talking that you're loving your time in America so far. But we'll go back to the Ashford Castle side of things. You also did another amazing placement when you were at ATU. If you want to tell everybody a little bit about that.
Yeah. So in my second year, my lecturer, actually Patrick Brennan, pushed me to go to Ashford Castle. I said well over my waters, but I stuck at it and I got through it. But that was fantastic. I did that for 12 weeks in the summer, actually, of an internship. So I worked at Cullen's Cottage, which is a seafood restaurant on site, for 6 weeks, and then I got to do another 6 weeks actually in the castle. But when I was there, we actually got to experience a wedding, which was humongous. You're looking at food and beverage costs 3 million, well over 3 million
Wow.
aspects. So it was a huge turning point in my life. So that's grew more knowledge from starting at ATU, and it was a fantastic course when I started. And then I just grew over time, and I just set a challenge and I set goals, and I never looked back, and I said yes, yes, yes. And I feel that that's a massive thing in hospitality. There's so much opportunities out there, and if you're willing to push yourself, you can go loads of places, and it's just about nailing down and going to college every day and listen to the lectures, because they're the people that have the experience. And obviously with me, I have a lot of experience, but give myself 20 years and I'll be the same level of experience that any of the lecturers have. So for me, it's just nailing down, and yeah, there's going to be challenges along your way, but it's about overcoming them challenges, and there's always results at the end of it. For me, like, I started low, like, was on a very bad wage in Trump, and it grew, and they trust in me, and now, like, I'm really happy over here. So it's awesome, to be honest with you, but it's about just nailing down and keeping yourself together, like, and don't get worked up about things, because there's so much opportunity. Like, there's so much. I've met so many businessmen, met the owner of Dead Rabbit that I'm having a conversation with next week about opportunities, and like, he's opening 5 Dead Rabbits in America. If you look him up, he's in
Wow.
New York. I don't know if you know him. He's in New York. He's like the biggest Irish bar in America.
Okay.
He's a Belfast man, but met him in Austin just over a conversation, and I've grew friends with him, and I'm having a conversation in the next coming weeks about opportunities. So that's the kind of things that there is in hospitality, and there's so much opportunity if you just work hard, keep together, go to college, listen to the lectures, do work experience outside your comfort zone is the biggest thing. Like, don't be afraid to take the risk, because there's always an opportunity that lies ahead of you. So that's kind of what I did, and it worked out for me.
Fantastic, David. And just one more thing. So I haven't been speaking to you since you got a picture taken with a very famous man here in Ireland, and you
That
also
was
did
correct.
work placement there. Do you want to give just a brief snapshot of what you did while on that work placement as well?
Yeah, so on the final year, I actually went to Ars Newton, the president of Ireland, to do a 12-week internship. It was tough at the start. I actually rang my lecturer, said this isn't for me. I remember having a conversation. I said, I'm gonna have to leave this place. It just isn't for me. He's just said, bide time, you'll be grand, stick at it, and it was probably the best advice that I did do. Because we were dealing with high end politicians and people to visit our Snooktaron. When I was there, actually, the old President Joe Biden did his American trip there, and that was very cool to see, like, the security side, like a completely different aspect of hospitality. It's not hotel experience; it's more confidentiality experience, and like working behind the scenes, and like small meetings with such high people. So that was very cool on my end. Um,
Brilliant,
it was
David.
it was more accommodation side too, because you'd have clean the house and like got to see that end of the um date. But it was very cool. Yeah, highly recommend it to anyone that's going down a different role. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it now.
Fantastic, David. Thank you so much for giving up your time. I wish you all the best now on your remaining time in America, and hopefully we will see you very soon. Eddie,
Thank
we are
you.
now heading over to you to discuss all things culinary arts at ATU. I love going to the Killybegs campus because the smell of all of those kitchens are just incredible. So if you want to give us a brief overview of the course, Eddie.
Cooking and presentation of food. For example, in our first year, we have what we call our fundamental modules, which is essential culinary skills. That will prepare students to make anything from soups, sauces, salads, stews, preparation of vegetables and potatoes, that kind of thing. We also have a very strong pastry element to that as well. So in year one, it's all the basics like breads and scones, yeastos, pastry work as well. And then we look at culinary science, a little bit in technology, and we have a big element on food safety as well. This is a great grounding, and it gets a student in, and it gets them comfortable with. Um, we're lucky in that the entire program as it goes through is very much practically oriented. A lot of time is spent in the kitchen, and it's all to do with reinforcing the developing confidence student, um, just progressing them so that they come in as commis chefs and that they're able to go out 3 years supervisor or even possibly. So it's offered 3 days a week on the Killybegs campus, and it's a great buzz. There's great vitality.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Eddie. You're kind of breaking up there, but we'll be able to come back to you with a Q&A maybe at the end. So we'll now head over to Keira, and Keira is joining us. She's a current student on our Culinary Arts programme. So Keira, you're very welcome. If you want to give us maybe a brief introduction to yourself and why you chose Culinary Arts at ATU Donegal.
So I started working in hospitality when I was like 15. I got the job with my mom because she worked there too, and I actually wasn't offered the job in this. It was like a B&B, but mom says if you just keep coming to work with me, she'll have to give you a job then. So that's what I done until she gave me a job. And so from there, I was like doing the housekeeping side of things, and then I met the chefs, and they took a liking to me, got me into the kitchen with them, started working with them. It was going really well for about, I done 4 years there, and then in my last year, I wanted to go to a better restaurant to try and be a better chef. I didn't have an interest in going to college at this stage, and again, my mum said to me, she was like, "You're not working in this restaurant if you don't come here with a college degree." So I was like, "Fine, I'll go to college." But no, I went to Killybegs then because I mean I was thinking about it, and every chef that I know from like home in Donegal, they've all been to Killybegs and they've all said great things about it. So that's kind of why I went, because everyone I knew had already been. I was like, "Oh, you need to go." Like, it's you know everyone like really well, and like you kind of become like a kind of family nearly. Because my class had 7 people in it, and we all became really close. You got to work together, you got to work on your assignments together. It was just good like that. It's not as big.
And what was your favourite module so far?
Probably the one we done it in third year was, yeah, third year first semester, the event planning, kitchen management and supervision, where we done all the live services. And like some weeks we got to like, make up our own menus. Every week we had like different roles, like you'd have a head chef and all the different chefs and different people got to be in charge, and you were cooking food for real people. So I really
Wow.
enjoyed that one.
Very good. And do you have any idea what you'd like to focus on after graduation?
I'm not sure. I mean, at the moment I work in the old Glen Bar in near Carrigart, so it's a really well-established restaurant. I was very lucky to be working there, doing my placement there for the past 3 years. I think, like, I mean, I'm still working there this year anyway, and then maybe next year I'd like to go somewhere else. When I finished college there this year in March, I got to go to a restaurant in Moira called Wine and Brine. So I got to work and do an event there with my head chef and the chefs that work there. So I would like to work there. I think the chef's really well known. He used to work in the UK. He was on the Great British Menu, I think, was a TV show he was
Okay.
on, and he won. So I like his style of cooking. So I think I'd like to work there someday, maybe.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Keira, for joining us tonight. And
Thanks.
now we are going over to Noni, who is a graduate of ATU Donegal. So Noni, you're very welcome here tonight, and thank you for taking the time out. So where have you been since you have been with us at ATU Donegal?
Thank you so much, Victoria, for having me tonight. Anywhere and everywhere. I have been so lucky. So I done the culinary program, but I was one of the few that went on and done something other than chefing. So I'm actually a healthy food made easy facilitator. So I actually teach cooking classes now out in
Wow.
disadvantaged areas in Donegal, and I absolutely love it. It's my absolute favorite thing to do. So it's normally evening courses, but I teach during the day as well. But it's nice to have the flexibility, and it's a 6 week course, so I'm chopping and changing, and I've seen most corners of Donegal at this stage.
And tell me, what do you do on a daily basis with your job at the minute? So what do you do?
So the main aim of the course is to influence people to cook their own meals and reduce the what's the word, ready meals and stuff like that. So the course is actually made by the HSE, and the Donegal County Council is actually funding it. So it's the HSE that has created the program to promote healthier living, really. So you're just promoting healthier and easier recipes, which I find it's very easy to do from all the knowledge that I learned in college. So I would have my knife skills, and I would be able to put recipes together easily. But yeah, I could be doing anything. So I would do up my lesson plans one evening, and I have to bring my ingredients and everything. The course is free for anybody to join. So I bring everything with me, and it's completely funded then. So yeah, it's more about organization's the most important, but after that, it's so enjoyable.
And what advice would you give to anybody interested in studying culinary?
100% definitely do it. I absolutely loved every minute of being in Killybegs. I'm a home bird. I'm from Donegal, and I went to a college in Dublin. I went to their open day, and I was like, this isn't for me. It's far too far from home, and I haven't looked back. The contacts you make, David mentioned there earlier, outstanding. It was actually one of the lectures that pushed me on to be the facilitator for one of the course, or to be the facilitator for the course that I'm doing now. I was like, I don't know if I'd be any good at that, but only for them, do you know. And I was actually chatting to Eddie recently, and you always keep in contact. And friends wise, like the students that was in my class, everybody's still friends, everybody keeps in contact. And if we see one person progressing, everybody's there pushing each other on. You will make friends for life.
Brilliant, Noni. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. So, folks, that completes our webinar for tonight, all about our culinary and hospitality programs at ATU Donegal. If you have any further questions, you can send me an email on victoria.wilson@atu.ie, and I'd be happy to answer any further questions that you have. I would like to thank Rosemary and Molly and David for joining us from the hospitality side of things, and for Eddie and Keira and Noni joining us from the culinary side of things. But we thank you very much, and we hope to see anybody that has applied for our programs at ATU very soon. So we wish you all the luck with your future studies, and we hope to see you soon. Thank you.